It's a response to elected officials across New Mexico misbehaving. A Republican representative wants to give voters more power to fire those elected officials. News 13's Chris McKee explains.
Yeah, Dean, right now there's no way for voters to recall state officials before their term is up. This new proposal would give voters a lot of latitude to try to get those elected officials out of office early.
Do you think you owe voters in this city an explanation?
New Mexico's seen a few embattled elected officials who've taken their time before leaving public office.
Any plans to step down as sheriff?
Former Rio Arriba Sheriff Tommy Rodella remained in office until days after a federal court conviction on civil rights violations.
I would just ask this court for forgiveness and leniency.
And former Secretary of State Diana Duran took months to resign after being charged with stealing campaign funds. Now a state lawmaker wants to give voters the power to kick out certain officials.
A process where the voters can recall an elected official.
There's just one way to remove an elected state official in New Mexico today.
Currently, the only way to remove an elected official is to impeach them.
That requires a panel of legislators to investigate and act. Ream wants voters to have more control, and he's proposed House Joint Resolution 11.
This is if the voters were upset at their activities, they could start a petition and have them recalled.
It would require petitioners to cite acts or failures of the elected official and get 25% of voters' signatures in 90 days to trigger a full recall election. Ream's proposal would only apply to the state's executive and legislative branches, but he believes it's a good way to start holding lawmakers more accountable.
And say, you know what, we need to change them rather than wait until the election.
Ream's resolution hasn't been taken up by lawmakers yet, and it will need a lot of support from Democrats if it goes anywhere. If it does pass the legislature, though, the measure would then need approval from voters because it would be a constitutional amendment. Dean?
Okay, thank you, Chris. The earliest the recall amendment could be voted on by the public would be the 2020 presidential election.